All right, everybody, gather around because I just got back from Disney World and I learned a bunch of stuff while I was there. And you need to know about this stuff before you go too. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. I was in Florida recently to speak at the Mom 2.0 Summit in Orlando. Thank you everyone who came out to that. And while I was there, of course, I had to drop into my happy place, Disney World. I had a great time solo tripping it around the parks and resorts, but while I was there, I not only learned a bunch of new stuff, which I always do when I go to Disney World, but I was also reminded about some Disney things that, to put it bluntly, I hadn't thought about in a while. So today's video is a collective of things that I learned, plus things that jogged my memory during this last trip. I love doing videos like this because it keeps reminding me that every time I go to Disney World, I learn a bunch of new stuff, I screw up, I make mistakes, and then I get to come back and tell y'all all about them. Okay, so let's talk about Wailulu Bar and Grill. At the end of December 2024, the Disney Vacation Club Island Tower over there at Polynesian Village Resort opened for guests, and along with it, the Wailulu Bar and Grill opened. Now, I don't think Wailulu is currently getting the credit it deserves. Sitting around that bar on a warm spring night with a light breeze keeping you comfortable is basically exactly how it feels in Hawaii all the time. It's idyllic. And by the way, the food is excellent. I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit. But here's why Wailulu is almost perfect, but not completely. This bar isn't super big, so wait times can be 1 to 2 hours the closer you get to Magic Kingdom's fireworks show. I showed up at 8:00 p.m. and I was told it was an hour and a half wait. And now the fireworks are at 9. We know this. And you can absolutely see the fireworks from here. It's an incredible view of the fireworks. But basically, I was told if you can find a seat at the bar, you can have it because it's first come, first served at the bar. But the restaurant itself was like an hour and a half wait. And of course, you can't make reservations for this because it's a basically bar and lounge, right? So anyway, heads up that either look for a seat in the bar or be prepared to wait if you're getting there close to fireworks time and it's a nice, breezy night. Luckily, I was able to find a seat at the bar. And I got to order my food, which I'm going to tell you about in just a little bit because it is phenomenal. Okay, so next thing I want to talk about is a little reminder for you. While I was visiting Disney World, I stayed at Disney's Beach Club Resort, one of my favorites, and I got a really good pass holder discount on it, which meant that I got to go to extended evening hours. And when I was there, there was extended evening hours in Magic Kingdom on my first night there. So extended evening hours are available for deluxe resort guests only, remember, and give you an extra 2 hours inside the parks after they close for everyone else. Lucky for me, my schedule aligned so that I could experience extended evening hours. Now, this is why you're going to be hearing more about my night in that park throughout the course of this video. Spoiler alert, I had a blast, really. Now, not everything stays open for extended evening hours, and the majority of the restaurants will close up shop per their usual time. They will roll up the sidewalks. However, Aloha Isle in Adventureland and Storybook Treats in Fantasyland do stay open during extended evening hours. I was so excited to see that I was able to get a Dole Whip float deep into the wee hours of the night, and all was right with the world. So I got my Dole Whip float and just wandered around Adventureland like a loony bin that I am, and I just had a great night. Okay, so this was shocking for me. People still don't realize that FastPass is gone. There are still folks out there who are traveling to Disney World with a pre-COVID mentality. They have this vision of what Disney World was the last time they were there, and they don't realize how much has changed since those historic closures happened, including the disappearance of free FastPass or of FastPass at all. I can remember I was in line for, I think, Pirates of the Caribbean, and I heard these people talking about getting FastPasses for things, and they weren't talking about lightning lanes. Like, they were like, why don't they have fast passes anymore? Or I thought they had fast passes. What's going on with fast pass? People just don't understand that it's already gone through 2 iterations since fast pass. Like, it's already been Genie Plus, and now we're over here on lightning lanes. So it just kind of surprised me because it's been 5 years. So it is totally okay for people to not be as hyper-focused on the Disney parks as I am. But when you're planning on spending thousands of dollars on a Disney World vacation, you're going to want to be as informed about all the changes that have taken place over the the past 5 years as you can be, right? Because things have changed a lot. So if you want to learn more about lightning lanes, aka the paid skip the ride line service that replaced the free fast passes, go ahead and scan the QR code you see on the screen now. Or if you're watching this video from your phone, click on the link in the description and head to disneyfoodblog.com/multipass after this. The team has created a free lightning lane guide that's going to give you a nice in-depth overview about how lightning lanes work. Plus, you'll also receive some of the best lightning lane tips and tricks that we've used personally and continue to use in the parks every single day when we're in Disney World. So this can just help you make sure that these add-on purchases never go to waste. If you are planning to drive yourself around Disney World, a GPS system can either be your best friend or your mortal enemy. I have absolutely used Google Maps, Apple Maps, and had it try to bring me backstage and try to bring me to places I'm not allowed to go, and also just take me just in completely the wrong direction. So if you use the app Waze, here's a major tidbit of advice. Type in parking, not park, when you're searching for directions to get to a certain Disney World theme park. For example, Magic Kingdom parking, not Magic Kingdom Park. This was actually something one of my friends told me about when she was trying to meet up with me in Magic Kingdom. She searched Magic Kingdom Park on her Waze app and was directed to an off-limits, cast member only backstage area. And that happens to me all the time. This isn't the first time I've heard about it happening, and it's not going to be the last, but I found more success with this app just by adding the word parking after your theme park destination. Worst comes to worst, you can use Waze to get you to at least the purple overhead road signs that'll help point you in the right direction the rest of the way. Okay, going back to Wailulu Bar and Grill here for you. I never thought I'd say this because I'm probably the Steakhouse 71 Stack Burgers #1 fan, and I still am, don't get me wrong. But that Wayfinder burger at Wailulu Bar and Grill was so good that it definitely rivals my beloved Steakhouse 71 burger. And I still can't decide which one I like better because they kind of serve two different purposes, but they are both absolutely phenomenal. The Wayfinder burger is made with 2 pressed patties, American cheese, onion jam, and volcano sauce on a sweet bun, served with your choice of mac salad or sweet potato fries. Now, from the moment I took that first bite, I knew the Stack Burger was in trouble. The beef has that made from scratch flavor, like when it's summer and your dad's grilling patties in the backyard, except your dad is like a really, really, really good burger maker. Then there's that volcano sauce, and that adds a little kick and pairs beautifully with the slightly sweet caramelized onion jam. It also kind of adds that almost aioli feel to the whole thing, so you get that richness to it. And the bun is soft and sweet like a Hawaiian roll, so it just adds an extra element of flavor in there. Now, the Stack Burger at Steakhouse 71 still has the Wayfinder burger, I think, beat when it comes to the waterfall of cheese and that incredible aioli in it. But if you're looking for a burger that has a unique, slightly spicy yet slightly sweet flavor served in a setting that will make you really appreciate where you're vacationing because it's just so beautiful, then the Wayfinder burger might become your burger of choice on Disney property. I don't know. I'm still kind of torn. If you've had them both, let me know in the comments what you think. Okay, now we're back to extended evening hours. Like I said earlier, not everything is open during a park's extended evening hours, including a handful of rides. This is something super important to realize if you're going to pay the big bucks to stay at a deluxe resort in order to go to extended evening hours. I know a lot of you are just going to stay at the deluxe resort anyway, if that's your choice for your vacation, but some people actually, extended evening hours is a critical component to deciding to spend that extra money, and it's good to know what's open because your favorite ride might not be. For example, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, not open during extended evening hours, at least it wasn't for me. But the bigger deal for me, my one true love, People Mover, also doesn't stay open for extended evening hours. And I knew this because I had been there during extended evening hours and it wasn't open, but I thought that had changed. So I show up at like 9:01 ready to ride, and the guy's like, nope, sorry, it's closed. And I was just devastated. But don't worry, there's more to this story. So all you fellow members of the People Mover fan club, which by the way is growing exponentially, we've got so many new members popping up in the comments and I love it. There is a little bit extra that we need to talk about. Later on in the night, I noticed people were riding people mover. And I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? So I head over and I said, what's happening? Why is it open? And they said, because Space Mountain was down for technical issues during the night that I was there, Magic Kingdom graciously reopened the people mover to make up for it. I mean, come on, people mover over Space Mountain, done and done. I am there. Now, for some, this might not be the best trade-off. I get it. But for me, I wanted to cry. I was so happy. I basically got an entire people mover train all to myself. It was the best surprise the whole trip. Now, I'm not saying this is guaranteed to happen during your next extended evening hours visit, but this is why I do videos like this, because I want to tell you all these little things that happened that might happen to you that probably don't fall into a giant bucket of this will always happen, but it does fall into a bucket of keep your eyes open, y'all, because you might see people riding the people mover when you thought it was closed. So always have hope and keep an eye on what's going on around you. Keep an eye on what's open on your My Disney Experience app, because you might just get lucky. Okay, we figured out the real reason people pay for the amphicars. Now, the amphicars over at Disney Springs next to the Boathouse restaurant give you the chance to ride a half-car, half-boat hybrid across the Disney Springs waters. This is a good time. You go grab some oysters from the Boathouse, maybe a little Duck Duck Raz cocktail, and then you make your way out to the amphicars for a fun-filled afternoon that gives off major yacht rock vibes. But this experience is expensive, like really expensive. Amphicars are $125 per car for a 20-minute guided tour. And that price does not include the cost of your amphicar photo that they'll take of you beforehand. That's an extra expense on top of what you're already paying. However, there are riverboats that you can ride from the Disney Springs dock over in the Marketplace section and over to Port Orleans Riverside or French Quarter that won't be as private and won't be shaped like a vintage convertible, but it'll be free and still take you across the Disney Springs waters in a much similar and more affordable fashion. So then what's the real reason to ride one of these? Well, the amphicar can be worthwhile if this novelty style ride is a big bucket list item for someone in your group. After all, amphicars aren't really something you see out on the water every day. You can always ride a boat, but you can't always ride a car that's impersonating a boat. The amphicars also give you a private guided tour across the lake for you and up to 4 friends, meaning you and 3 other people could technically chip in to pay for this experience, making it a less pricey thing than having to cover it all by yourself. Okay, y'all, the Skyliner, not a crowd-free solution. We talk about the end of the night Disney bus crowds a lot and the monorail crowds, but I think we need to talk a little bit more about the end of the night Skyliner crowds in Epcot too, because they are unbelievable. At the end of my Epcot day, after watching Luminous and only tearing up twice, it's a pretty big deal for me, I teared up a 3rd time after seeing the Skyliner line winding down and around all the way back to the Beach Club Resort. Luckily, I didn't need to ride the Skyliner that evening because my resort was only a few steps away from Epcot's International Gateway, but seeing the line was a good reminder for me to warn you about this. Thankfully, the Skyliner cabins are consistently moving to help get people boarded on their merry little way as quickly as possible, but there's still a good chance that you might be waiting 30 to 40 minutes before you finally get to board if you're at the tail end of your Epcot or Hollywood Studios day. So, as we always recommend, either leave before the fireworks and get on that Skyliner, or stay a little bit later. Again, some of the shops are still going to be open after the fireworks. You're going to be able to kind of wander around Epcot for a teeny tiny bit on your way out. So you may just give yourself a little time to enjoy the evening, enjoy everybody sort of emptying out of Epcot, and then go over and get in that line. No sense in just standing there waiting when you could still be enjoying the ambiance of Epcot in the evening. Okay, I'm going to shut up about extended evening hours after this, I promise. I just really enjoyed using this deluxe resort perk during my recent visit, and I think Magic Kingdom is probably the best park for extended evening hours usage. This is probably the only one that I might spend a little extra money to actually book the deluxe resort to get the 2 extra hours in Magic Kingdom. Now, since MK has nearly double the rides of the other parks, even with a few of them closed during extended evening hours, you're still getting the chance to ride tons of those heavy hitter attractions back to back with minimum wait times. Peter Pan's Flight, Pirates of the Caribbean, Jungle Cruise, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, they are all included, so you are going to absolutely be able to ride these rides without the sun beating down on you and without the long waits. So even with those lingering end of night guests who don't have extended evening hours, but who also got in the right line before the park closed, you're still not going to have very long lines once extended evening hours gets up and running. Crowds are pretty evenly dispersed across a lot of different rides, Haunted Mansion, Tron, those ones I mentioned earlier. Like, it is a great deal in my opinion, folks. You know how I love after hours so much. Well, if you can find a good deal on a deluxe resort, it's totally worth it to be able to go to extended evening hours at Magic Kingdom too. Now, Bria, you guys know my scriptwriter, keeps on raving about Pepe by Jose Andres in Disney Springs, so I feel like I should mention it again just to appease her. Pepe is the Spanish-inspired quick service attached to Jaleo. Now, you can pick up a lot of different unique snacks and entrees here, like pastries and chicken fritters and sandwiches and patatas bravas, my favorite. But something that might be lesser known about this place is that they make fresh ice cream daily. Sure, it's your basic chocolate and vanilla soft serve, but it's really good and fresh tasting soft serve here that's nice and creamy and worth trying if you want to finish off your meal at Pepe with a little sweet treat. Now this right here is why our DFB guide to Walt Disney World dining over on dfbstore.com is always changing. Much like how we learn something new each time we're in the parks, we're learning something new each time we're in the restaurants too, even the ones we visited hundreds of times before. And with all this newfound restaurant knowledge, we've got to dispel it all somewhere, so our ultra detailed digital guides take one for the team by holding on to our best new and classic restaurant tips. That way we get to info dump our favorite dining secrets and our brand new dining secrets, and you get to learn about them all, so you're always in the know. Everybody wins. Everyone tells you to hit up Casey's Corner on Main Street, USA and order a bite to eat before the happily ever after fireworks begin. But what they do not tell you is how wildly busy this place gets right before the fireworks begin. The lines are insane. The mobile order book's up solid. There are no outdoor tables left for you to snag. And even if you do end up snagging one, you're going to feel claustrophobic thanks to all the people vulturing around just waiting for you to stand up and leave. Listen, it's not worth it. Not anymore. If you want Casey's Corner, grab a hot dog or corn dog nuggies from here earlier in the day. Otherwise, you'll probably want to grab your pre-fireworks snackage from another Magic Kingdom location. Maybe Gaston's Tavern in Fantasyland or Anti-Gravity's Galactic Goodies in Tomorrowland. I don't know, just Casey's is not it right before the fireworks. I'm sorry, just gonna go on record saying that. So if everyone heads to Casey's Corner right before the fireworks, where do they all go after the fireworks? Well, one of two directions, either A, toward the exit, or B, toward Tron Light Cycle Run. Tron is best experienced when it all lights up at night, but while other Magic Kingdom rides have wait times that'll drop right after the fireworks finale, Tron lately tends to do the opposite. This coaster's a good one to prioritize before Happily Ever After, like maybe right after the sun goes down, or you can always get a single pass lightning lane for this ride to skip over the bulk of the main queue entirely. Tron's also open during extended evening hours, so again, that's another reason why I think Magic Kingdom is the best park to hit up with those deluxe resort perks in tow. Or, if you've got the patience and don't mind the gamble and have the energy, which I had none of the above toward the end of my day during my trip, but maybe you're cut from a different cloth than me, you can always get in line for this coaster right before the park closes instead. As long as the queue hasn't been roped off to guests, it's still a free game to jump into, even if the park's only minutes away from closing time. Okay, stop being a sheep. This is something that I've known about for a while, but it still rings true after all this time. When you are lining up at any of the Disney World front gates at the start of the day, do not go to the middle turnstiles. Everyone and their mother goes to the middle. I don't know why, but maybe we're all just creatures of habit and it feels like the right thing to do. But the middle lines are almost always going to be the longest. Instead, break away from the crowds and go to the far left or far right entry points for way shorter ticket scanning lines. Face painting kiosks are available at every Disney World park, at Disney Springs and at Disney Resorts too. It's a cute way for kids and adults to get a magical makeover minus the $100 price tag that you'll have to pay at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. Face paint is typically $20 to $25 per person. The face paint is all water-based, which is a good and bad thing. It's good because it's easy to clean off at the end of the day, no stained faces, but it's bad because it can easily wipe off if you've got an itch on your nose, or you swipe a strand of hair off your cheek, or the beads of sweat on your forehead are washing down you like a waterfall. There's no use crying over smudged face paint. If you're in need of a touch-up, just head back to the face painting kiosk, show them your same day of purchase receipt, and one of the artists will touch it up for you for free. Oh, and don't forget to ask for some extra pixie dust too. The glitter in your hair is one of the best parts. I spy with my little eye another Pirates of the Caribbean hidden gem. This ride is loaded with them, so keep your eyes open. At the very beginning of this dark boat ride, and that pile of rocks is arranged to look like a skull when you're approaching it. It's super cool because once you pass it, they just become a pile of rocks. Doesn't look like a skull anymore. The ominous rock signals cursed treasure up ahead, so brace yourselves. So this is something that's actually been going on for many years, but during my past trip to Epcot, I was reminded that, hey, I haven't talked about this in a while, maybe I should fix that. So there's a pianist that plays at select times throughout the day inside Rose and Crown over in the UK pavilion. You'll find times for the Rose and Crown pub musician listed on the My Disney Experience app and on the Disney World website if you want to plan your advanced dining reservations accordingly. Okay, bring your Kindle. If you are a book reader, if you have a Kindle, bring it with you to Disney World. Baby's napping in the hotel room? Read. Waiting in a long queue line? Read. Grabbing a snack and planning to sit down for a bit? Read. Over at the Polynesian beachside, got a hammock all to yourself? Read. The DFB team is made up of big readers, myself included, so this is one of our new favorite ways to pass any extra time that we need to while we're in Disney World. Your Kindle is super light most of the time. It's not going to take up a lot of room or a lot of weight in your bag. I was in line for Guardians of the Galaxy and I just read the whole time. It was great. And with that being said, I'm always down for more book recommendations, so let me know what you've been reading lately and we'll start our own mini book club down in the comments. During the past few Friday meetings Bria and I have had, she's not so subtly asked to talk about this particular moment she experienced during her last Magic Kingdom visit in one of our upcoming scripts. And I think this is the perfect time for her to finally talk about it. Take it away, Bria.
Many of you guys probably already know by now how passionate I am about my Disney pin trading. So imagine, if you will, my absolute delight when my husband and I are getting ready to walk out of the park to hop over to Epcot, when suddenly I stumble upon 10 or so cast members lined up along Main Street USA holding out pin boards. It was a legit pin trader conga line, and I was in heaven. You never know what you're gonna find happening down Main Street USA, but it's always worth keeping your head up out of your phone and looking around because you just might stumble upon one of the biggest surprise highlights of your trip.
Now, this one is really, 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 really important. So if this is the only one you listen to in this whole video, please, please write this down and remember it and file it away, okay? So several of our Disney food blog reporters have been using this lightning lane strategy lately, and I'm proud to report that I've now been able to use it at this past Disney World visit too. When you purchase MultiPass, you'll not only get the opportunity to pre-select 3 lightning lanes before your visit, but you'll also be able to book new lightning lanes during your day there, so you have 3 in the mix all day long. Each lightning lane will give you an hour return window, which is when you'll be able to scan in and bypass the main queue for the ride. However, there's actually a 3-hour grace period where you can still scan into your lightning lanes even if it's already way past your return time window. Actually, it's 2 hours and 59 minutes. This also works for single pass lightning lanes too. When our DFB reporters have tested this theory out in the past, the max amount of time they were able to scan in and still get the green light of approval versus the blue light, which means you're too late to lightning lane and will more than likely be turned away after that, was 2 hours after their lightning lane return window was supposed to have ended. So when your Disney World app gives you a 1-hour return window, it is probably a 3-hour return window. Now, Disney could change this rule at any time, so I don't recommend relying on it if you don't have to. However, it's nice to know you might have a little bit of wiggle room to fall back on if you're running a little or a lot behind schedule. Okay, 2 words, go early. This isn't a new revelation. It's not even one we've been slacking about telling you, but oh my goodness, go early. Go early, go early, go early to get ahead of the crowds. Whether you plan to use early theme park entry, which is that perk for all Disney Resort hotel guests, it gets you into any park 30 minutes early, or if you just plan to go right at rope drop, aka official park opening time, that early day head start can help you get so much done before lunchtime. This is especially useful for, again, those going to Magic Kingdom, particularly speaking, those planning on going to Magic Kingdom during peak travel times. You don't have to wake up at the crack of dawn every day of your trip, but maybe pick and choose a few days where you prioritize an early morning wake-up call so that you can get a head start over all those guests who decide to hit the snooze button. So there are moments in your life you never forget, right? Your first kiss, your graduation, the day your kid is born, and the moment when you get your favorite song on Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Cosmic Rewind is an indoor backwards launch coaster with 360-degree spins and the best randomized 80s soundtrack. You never know which song you're going to get when you board this thing, and there's no true way to hack this one and make sure you get the song you want. Unless, that is, your favorite song is September, then if you just so happen to be in Epcot on the 21st night of September, that's the only song that's going to play all day long. At least that's how it worked last year and the year before, and we're hoping that Epcot will do the same thing again. But when the stars align and everything works in your favor and you get your song, it just doesn't get old, my friends. I have been on Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind so many times, and when Tears for Fears comes on, I am just the happiest camper in the world with a giant smile plastered on my face for that entire ride, and it just doesn't get old. Anyway, here are the 6 potential songs you could experience during your next Cosmic Rewind ride through. First, Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears, which is of course the best. Second, September by Earth, Wind & Fire, Conga by Gloria Estefan, One Way or Another by Blondie, I Ran by Flock of Seagulls, and Disco Inferno by The Tramps. Disney World loves their scavenger hunt-like activities, but I think the park that embraces it the most is Epcot. Here you're going to find a mixture of free and premium scavenger hunts, but the one we don't mention a whole lot on this channel is the World Showcase Passport Kit that you can pick up at those main Epcot gift shops. This is basically a way to upgrade your KidCot Fun Stop visits around each pavilion. Normally, KidCot is free, and the kiddos can collect little cards around each spot to commemorate their visit in each different country. But the Passport Kit comes with stickers, an honorary ambassador pin, and a spot on each page for Epcot's cultural representatives to stamp their country's designated spot and write a message in their native language. It's a lot of fun and a nice keepsake for kids and adults alike. Okay, big one here. Be flexible. So I've been to Disney World hundreds and hundreds of times for long trips and short trips and family trips and solo trips, and I still always end up over planning. It is a gift and a curse. It's easy to get overly ambitious when you're planning a Disney trip before you arrive, since you'll be doing all that planning in a nice air-conditioned house with a well-rested body. There were so many times during my recent trip that I ended up bailing on rides and restaurants that I'd pre-booked, thinking I'd have more energy than I ended up having. After the heat and the crowds and the general stress of not having enough time to do it all finally caught up to me, I knew some things were gonna have to give. They're gonna have to be sacrifices for the sake of my trip and my sanity. So do not beat yourself up if you don't end up doing everything you thought you'd be able to get done in a single trip. It happens to all of us, even the experts. So allow yourself to be flexible, give yourself some grace. While you'll end up getting fewer things done, you'll have a whole lot more fun doing what you can do. So this is a combination of the be flexible and the go early point that I talked about before. Try to prioritize the things you really, really need or want to do in a Disney park earlier on in the day. As established, there's a good possibility you and your group are just going to bail on it all. You're going to run out of steam by the end of the day, so you might be ready to throw in the towel before your priority experiences have been experienced. Whatever it is that you know you're going to be the most excited to see, schedule that when you're at your prime and feeling fresh. And if it has to be something in the evening, then schedule time to go take a rest or a nap before you go back out, just so that you're not coming into that very, very exciting thing that you're super ready to do and you can't wait to do, feeling exhausted and stressed and probably with, a sunburn headache. Notice how earlier I mentioned there are some Disney days where I end up canceling my dining reservations? This is my reminder to not just you, but also to myself that it is okay to do this. Sometimes all you want to do is sit down at Via Napoli and Epcot and eat a honkin' big slice of Brickfire pizza, and other times you want to jump ship and head back to your hotel room and DoorDash a pizza instead. Neither one of these answers is wrong. You just got to do what you know deep down you really want to do. So if you need to cancel a table service dining reservation, make sure you do this before you're 2 hours out from where you're supposed to check into the restaurant. Otherwise, you're going to be charged a no-show fee of $10 per person attached to the reservation. Cancellation policies can and do differ when it comes to those higher-end restaurants or third-party dining experiences and prepaid stuff. So check on the cancellation policies before you book so you're familiar with those just in case. But most Disney restaurants are going to be at that 2-hour window that you're allowed to cancel before you need to be there. You can make cancellations on the My Disney Experience app or by calling the number of the restaurant and canceling that way, or by walking up to the restaurant's post podium and canceling in person. Cast members really don't mind if this happens at all, and they'll be more than happy to help you out. All right, we're back at Tron again. When you get to the locker area in Tron, everyone just stops at the first bank of lockers, similar to what folks do at the front park gates when they all get in line for the middle turnstiles. Remember, don't be a sheep. Keep on walking to the very far wall of the Tron locker setup and grab one of the lockers down there instead. Otherwise, if you follow the crowd, you'll have to wait until the crowd clears before you finally get a locker, and that means a whole lot of other people have moved on into the ride line in front of you. Getting a locker towards the very far wall means you're in and out of there before anyone else. So not all beach club hotel room balconies are created equal. I haven't talked about this in a long time on this channel. Some are a great place to go out and enjoy a cup of tea or read your Kindle, and some have that Juliet-style balcony that just isn't large enough to even walk out on. You can always request a larger balcony when you check in online. It's literally on the check-in requests. Or you can call the Disney Resorts hotel reservations line and make a bigger balcony request that way too. Hotel requests of any kind are never 100% guaranteed, but fortunately for my last trip, it did work out in my favor. So this is definitely another Bria observation from her last Disney Springs visit, so I'm going to hand the mic over to her.
Fun fact about me. I love Pura Vida bracelets. They're affordable, many support good causes, and they actually fit my wrist comfortably, which not a lot of bracelets do. So I love that there's a Pura Vida store over in Disney Springs now, which just opened last October in the Town Square section of the shopping district. Sure, this place isn't gonna give you a super niche Disney souvenir, but they do have blind bag bracelets here for $4, and I am a sucker for a blind bag, especially when I know I'm gonna love whatever I wind up getting. Plus, Pura Vida often has some sort of sale going on for their bracelets, rings, and necklaces too. Again, it's not necessarily Disney branded stuff, but it's still pretty fun to get your friends together and pick out a few items to remember your Florida trip by.
Speaking of Disney Springs, the streetmosphere here always goes hard. While my good friend Douglas Fur isn't always out and about except during the Flavors of Florida event that happens in the summer or select times in the holiday season, that doesn't mean you're not bound to run into other types of streetmosphere entertainment while you're here. Sometimes a traveling pianist makes their way through the town center. Other times you might hear an electric harp rocking out to Broadway tunes outside the AMC Theater. I've seen an impressive violinist tearing up the strings close to the Polite Pig before. Now there's always something going on around these streets, even beyond those outdoor stages. Best of all, Disney Springs Outdoor Entertainment is 100% free. You just have to exist in the right place at the right time, and you don't even have to pay for parking. But the biggest thing I probably learned from my last trip to Disney World is there's still so much left to learn about Disney World, and I'm excited that we can all learn it together. So stick with me and the DFB team. Make sure to check out some of our other Disney World planning videos, and don't forget to pick up that free Lightning Lane guide over at disneyfoodblog.com/multipass. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. Like I said, these are some of my favorite videos to do because I'm always out there making mistakes and learning more to share with you. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and I'll see you real soon.